Hi, this is Franz Cantor, cartoonist, illustrator and toon talker. I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum, and we're going to do the phenomena that was and still is Mambo.
Yep.
Hey Mambo, Mambo
Italiano.
Hey Mambo.
Still Life with Franchise came out in the 90s, and it's published by, oh my goodness me, look at this window here. Still Life with Franchise.
By Graphics.
1998 by
Mambo Graphics.
Mambo Graphics,
But
self-published.
just go back to that page again. That's a ripper page.
Yeah.
That's
So Reg Mombassa is probably the flagship artist for Mambo.
yeah.
He's responsible for a lot of the, the iconic work that they've used on T-shirts. Now, it's a life.
What do you know about this bloke?
Dare Jennings had a T-shirt business, and he decided to create this incredible artwork inspired or artwork led fashion statement, which was incredibly Australian, incredibly
Irreverent.
well, it's irreverent, yeah, but so powerful. No one was doing anything. Of course, and they paid a premium price for it too. They were collector's items, so they were in essence, I guess, they were limited edition, because after the fashion run of a design, most of them were discontinued, either because they weren't selling enough of them, or they just had so many rich ideas for designs that they had to keep moving on.
Well, there's Reg. The hand of the Mambo artist is guided by the higher power. So they produce beautiful
Yeah.
pictures of great spiritual value that instruct and uplift.
So
Uplift.
you're trying to imagine Mambo. What is Mambo? Mambo is sort of like Australia's version of kitchen sink press, in that it's an underground movement. It's very, very choice, very, very iconic, and surreal and irreverent. And the humour is very strangely suburban Australian.
The skeleton of,
So
a
whereas-
bus. The skeleton of an old bus.
Yeah.
Or an old truck.
Yeah, toasters and things,
Yeah.
These are things that we grew up with as kids in the suburbs. We weren't bush creatures. We didn't have really a lot of, bush legend type legends, bush legend type ideas. We grew up in suburban settings with smokestacks and stuff. So the city,
It looks
very
like
rich.
it looks.
The culture is incredibly rich.
Yeah,
I mean, kudos to Dare Jennings for allowing this to flourish. The cartoons and the gags and the illustrations were just beautifully represented. Beautifully, it was a celebration of art, a celebration of humour, a celebration of not just Australian culture, but Australian suburban culture,
Surfboard.
epitomised by the artists, by the cartoonists. Mambo. Yeah.
Australian Jesus, not afraid to do a woman's work.
Yeah. See, in the 90s, when this was a phenomenon, in the 80s, and 90s, when this was a phenomenon, Mambo, these were very rare. These stickers and these badges and things, incredibly rare. They didn't stock them. You go to a Mambo store or a surf shop or something, they didn't have all of the work.
Is that by Grunwald?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the faces. So they've just updated it.
Yeah.
And he's got barbed wire in his hair instead of thorns.
Yeah. So this was a culture, T-shirt culture predominantly, and became a fashion culture. They printed shirts and other attire, furniture as well. Their windows in the stores were something to behold. That was
It's
like
interesting. An alien with his alien gun meets. That's supposed to be a spiritual Australian who's actually got his power saw that's plugged into electricity. That's his gun.
yeah.
So it's commenting on the
Well, it's not
craziness of the country plus the consumerism.
Well, I don't know whether you could say it was a piss take on everything.
Yeah.
So this Mambo semiotics, the elephant's trunk, pretending to be a woman. These are different penis gags, experiments in visual perception.
Well, like this is a skeleton of a penis.
Yes.
They're really setting it up,
Yeah. Psychosexuality.
Yeah, look, God.
Yeah. Look, the testicles are mace balls.
And look at the house. It's
Like a combination of a suburban fibro house and Hermes.
yeah. Mixing wonderful metaphors.
So the idea of Mambo was to be irreverent, obviously, to be inventive, to be, just let your imagination go. The hairy harmonica.
Yeah. Human reproduction. She's got a poetry book and he's got a ruler.
Yeah. So all of the metaphors are not obvious in Mambo culture. The humour leads the
House
way.
for children.
So the idea.
Bed.
Yeah, the pork sword.
The map of
hairy
Tasmania.
harmonica.
The map of Tasmania.
This is beef curtains, New Zealand. Don't know why, but you could sort of get an idea. Mrs. Hand and her 5 daughters.
Yes, well, that's a joke about masturbation, isn't it?
Okay, all right. So a lot of these start out as in life as a barroom gag, and then they're kind of explored and pushed and prodded to an end result. You have to see this book to believe it. It's just the stuff that they got away with.
How long
Because
did
it's
this go for?
humorous.
This like
It's still they still sell Mambo shirts, but
Yeah,
Dad
but-
Jennings is left.
but obviously it was an incredibly rich period.
Well, yeah.
Surf cultural evolution, and
But
they've
it
got
was
a
also-
toaster here,
Well, it wasn't surf culture so much. It was Australian. It embraced surf culture and skateboarding culture and etc. But it was more to do with Australian humorous suburban.
Yeah, truth, beauty, Mambo, justice, wisdom, and nakedness.
Yep.
And this is
So-
Russian, a send up of Russian. But
Yeah.
look, they're organic.
Yeah. So
And look, even the planes have testicles.
yeah.
Although, yeah,
So it's a culture led by art. It's a culture created by art and humour.
this is Paul
That's what this
Paul
is.
McNeil. So we're into another artist now.
We're into another artist.
And of course, the
so
lawnmower.
there's Reg Mombassa.
Yeah, the lawnmower
each
is
section.
hugely Australian icon, and it's got all these different things. It's a vehicle of everything.
Yeah, so the ideas for the T-shirts, and they're not just T-shirts, by the way. They're badges and stickers and posters and all kinds of things. And
They
sometimes
made
primarily they're
they made
T-shirts.
curtains and all sorts of stuff, didn't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they have.
They didn't make toys, did they?
No,
it's
but
all
in the
fabric.
windows they had paper mache versions of a lot of these characters. And
Well,
you know,
these are
that they have.
surfboards that they've coloured, like
Well,
Scully.
yeah, because the stores, the Mambo stores, which sold Mambo paraphernalia,
Yeah.
which were primarily T-shirts, and then went into board shorts and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But the stores became these cultural galleries that sold artist-led paraphernalia.
Yeah,
So
well, it's
artist-led
interesting.
products.
Yes, artist-led. That's expressing stuff that's going down at
Yeah.
the time.
So there were,
And they're having fun with all these symbols and tropes.
yeah, there were a lot of galleries that were promoting, pop cultural icons and funny cartoons and illustrations and things in Los Angeles and Australia, but really nothing of this scale. This was a
Yeah.
huge scale.
Yeah, this is
And
off the planet, isn't it? It's
yeah.
so much stuff. So much stuff.
Yeah, so Paul McNeil is a designer / cartoonist, and you could see the variety of the work
Revhead.
of the work that he did.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the idea of this book, is really to highlight the artists working for the brand.
And all these fart jokes too, like go for a bumpy ride with Mambo,
Yeah,
Stack it.
yeah,
Ah, lovely. Look at the two songs together.
yeah.
And there's send ups of previous ads
A lot of the ads are
Like iconic
the
ads.
illustrations and cartoons are
Yeah.
very, very satirical
Yeah.
of other
A sunburnt
cultures.
Christmas, Bondi Beach, and that's the American symbol of the
Iwo
raising of the
Jima.
flag. Yeah.
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 But there's also reverence. There's irreverent references to 50s modern.
Yeah, but they're done lovingly, aren't they?
Yeah,
They-
and-
they
And
They
pop
obviously-
cultural cartoon
they obviously love what they're sending up.
cartoon character logos.
Yeah, they love what they're sending up.
Yeah. Snow worries.
Yeah.
Mambo snow worries.
Yeah.
So everything is done with incredible
Matthew
energy and
Matthew
tongue
Martin.
cheek. Yeah, Matthew Martin was a Sydney Morning Herald
Yeah.
cartoonist and illustrator.
He did lots of cutouts. See how he's made that's obviously a woman. He's cut it out into a shark shape just to fix with it. He did great collage stuff. Great collage stuff.
This was so
Look at
off
this, look at
off
this.
the wall. There's Mambo.
Mambo tools.
This was so off the
Spanner
wall.
goanna.
Yeah,
And duck. Look, duck.
yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like tule birds.
Pair of trunks.
Yeah, pair of trunks. Literally trunks.
Yeah, he's reversed it.
Mm,
He's reversed it.
yeah.
Well, that's been used a lot of times.
So
Mambo, truth or dairy?
there's no house style for Mambo.
Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
Aha.
There's only humour. So humour is sort of it's not Aussie humour. It's Aussie suburban humour,
Yeah.
which is different to Aussie humour. It's
Paul
more
Warstead.
funnier and sophisticated.
Yeah, and
less
different-
sophisticated, and it's just I don't know. It's just completely surreal and and almost deadly, almost dangerous.
Like, you know, a
great
paper
stuff.
plane, the evolution of importance from nothingness.
So
There is only hope in action as a brick.
yeah, well, it's kind of a Paul Worsted. This is Paul Worsted's work. It's sort of very how would you explain it? It's
Mambo.
it references pop culture.
Yeah.
So this is the plastic glass
And
grass.
suburban culture and beach culture.
Yeah, a
Mixes
lot
it
of
all
different
up.
things. Yeah. So the key premise is something that's there's a tin of dick. The key premise is, of course, if it's funny. If it's
Very
funny,
small tin. Very small
if
tin.
it's funny and cleverly designed. So it's not, you know, at the time that Mambo became prolific, a lot of t-shirt companies were trying to be Mambo. They're trying to come up with these ideas. And they couldn't do it because they didn't have the energy and they didn't have the imagination of these artists, these great guys that came up with these brilliant...
They're sending up the
Cartoons, illustrations.
Warhol covers.
the interview covers.
Yeah.
Maria Kozik, of course, was a darling of the
Is bitch.
gallery set in the 90s, 80s, 90s mainly.
Well, done on a computer, isn't
No, I don't think she did work on it. I can't remember. I don't think she did. But you know, she was
it? Mambo Goddess.
yeah. She's an individual. She's a really. This is very Maria Kozik.
Veins on a gun.
Yeah. So. So there's a lot of menace in her work.
David Mackay. Well, that's the wrestling, and this is interesting. All the toys
Was
behind glass.
references to Mexican wrestling
Yeah,
and Frida Kahlo
yeah, Frida Kahlo. Yeah, and look at that.
and Rivera,
Kama Suit.
Kama Suitors. Yeah, so they're kind of cute puns on words that are elaborately illustrated. That's a typical idea of Mambo. They got this incredible. Oh, might I say too? Here we go. The idea in Australian t-shirt culture, most t-shirts up until Mambo were printed basically iron-on transfers or
Yeah.
screen prints on white t-shirts. And the cheaper the better, and the cheaper and the nastier the better. Now Mambo went the opposite. They went on dark colored t-shirts, they're thick, heavy cotton, you know, decent printing, beautiful printing, high quality work. High quality work.
These would have sold
No one else
overseas.
was.
These would have sold overseas, surely.
I have no idea whether they sold overseas. I'm sure they would have, but they were instant collectibles, instant collector's items. If you had the latest Mambo shirt, if you walked down the street with the latest Mambo shirt, you would get remarks and people's heads would turn.
Well, you're
That's how people loved it.
from Sydney,
I'm from Sydney. Yeah.
and
Matthew Martin.
yeah,
is
but
from Sydney.
yeah, but Mambo is a Sydney phenomena
Yeah,
primarily, because I didn't really.
yeah.
I heard of it, but it didn't cut like it's a Phantom, and that's the lady of
Here's David McKay's work.
the lady of what's her name,
The Vesica Pisces, the
Guadalupe.
the Virgin of
Guadalupe.
Yeah. Mexican
And
culture.
of course,
This is 50 sci-fi.
and
Culture.
there's
Yeah.
Forbidden Planet. There's Robbie.
Yeah. Tin toys,
Yeah.
tin
And
robots,
and of course,
destroy all monsters.
they're all big deal with the Japanese tin collectors, aren't
Yeah.
they? Jim Mitchell.
Jim Mitchell.
Lovely
Some
bit of-
beautiful, very iconic graphics
Yeah.
in his work, and he's responsible for a lot of this stuff. So you could see the beautiful marriage
Occasionally
of
made in Australia.
great typography,
Leisure
with
masters, yeah.
inventive, very inventive cartoons.
Living comfortably with no visible means of support.
Yeah. So this is an example of
The
Jim's
two-door whore.
work. He's a master of graphic design and cartoon.
Well,
Look at this.
he's absorbed a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah.
They've got the skulls on the
What's
end of the
idea of
of the
coming up
flower.
with something that you're kind of familiar with, like the Mouse and Kelly eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're kind of familiar with this stuff, but he'll reinvent it for you. Look at these,
Look at that. That's practically a
three-legged swastika.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three-leg brand.
brands.
Jeans.
Yeah,
Jake the Peg.
yeah, with some kanji, Japanese. So these are, there's nothing to sort of say, well, it's sport, it's skateboard culture. Oh no, it's wrestling culture. Oh no, it's surf culture. No, it's everything culture.
Yeah.
See, this is like the American Devil Girl.
Yeah, they put on
illustrations,
cars and stuff like that,
Yeah. So
Car culture.
it's everything culture. I mean,
Carbon
these are,
monoxide stalks the road to oblivion.
yeah. So
Walk, don't
don't talk.
Yeah, look how
Car culture. So-
boxy that car is. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's something here. I mean, I'm not into cars, but I would love to wear this. That would be right up my alley. Why? Because it's so sticker-like from the 70s. It's
Yeah.
something he's referencing something like the
96.
Ratfink
Yeah.
cartoons and the energy of that era and really lovingly portraying it and reinventing it again in a fresh way. That's what's so exciting about looking at Mambo work, because it's such a powerful
It's a rich revolution.
yeah. Well, it's like trumpeting this great sense of fun, And look at this. It's like M-A. No, could they be letters? There might even be letters. I don't know. But they're anyway. This is Jerry Wedd.
Did a lot of,
God.
did a lot of sculpture.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of this. There's a lot of referencing to other cultural examples of underground culture, like Robert Crumb and
The history of surfing.
yeah. So they did a lot of these reinventing the Hawaiian style shirt. They were instant collectibles.
And putting all those wonderful
Greatly sought
shorts
after.
out. A lot of these
yeah, a lot
designs
of
are on
these,
shorts.
stickers and swing tags, and they're just the idea of quality, of humor, of being part of the Mambo culture was really, really powerful. It was such
An angel with a
incredibly
Mambo surfboard.
exciting time.
And
I could never
look at
afford
this is interesting
any of the-
because
I could
these
never
are the
afford too many of these shirts.
no,
but they were
but this is beautiful
done.
because this is almost they're those rubber things that you tie the surfboard onto your car, and they've made it into, Coptic.
Coptic.
They're Celtic.
Celtic
designs.
Celtic, knotwork. Yeah. Leisure Masters. Yeah.
Look at the brain. And look, they're like snakes. What do they call those things?
I don't know. It's kind of like the old.
No, but these things are, you still get these things, to tie things on your motorbike and your car and stuff.
Buttons, cords. Just
Stephen
tied.
Bliss. Oh, he's a Musketeer from England. Goddess. Mambo Consciousness. No.
So it was self-deprecating art. It made fun of its own cultural significance, if it had any significance.
It's a video camera that's got all that images on, even
So they're like sculptures the shops were like galleries. They had these incredible displays in all the windows of paper mache characters, which were designed by the artists. So they had a full-on
So as you said,
creative
it's an
team.
artist-run visual
it's not
revolution.
A artist-run revolution.
No, but he's given them he's given them their head. Go for it, boys. He said, and he's not saying,
Yeah.
Mambo, what's love got to do with it?
Yeah.
In a car.
Drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The colour of this unplugged. Got a circle around the mouth. Mambo. Look, the golf clubs.
It's Mark Fall's work. Beautiful. Mambo hindsight.
Yes, we all know about our hindsight, don't we? More hindsight there. The sweet smell of excess. Robert
Moore.
100% Mambo. And he's got his
So
he's got his spanner
this
instead
was
of his
very
guitar.
popular in the 80s. In America, you had Raw magazine, which we're going to talk about next time probably. They gave vent to these very existential
Jeff Ragless.
cartoonists as fine artists. So cartoonists that came swelled with big ideas of replicating, modern googie designs and
He got out of
ad cartoons.
He got out of art school still in under Picasso's influence. It's modern sort of animation stuff.
So what's this saying with raw cartoons? It's kind of like National Lampoon comics. They had a lot of energy. This is our version of that energy that's exploded. There's nothing that's left untouched here. There's a lot of you could almost talk about Garbage Pail Kids or Cabbage Patch Kids stickers, and Raw magazine itself, or American pop culture,
hairy fruit.
Australian culture. There's just nothing that's left untouched. Everything is explored. Everything is open slather. So as long as it's clever, inventive, and funny, and works on a T-shirt, that's it. Or could possibly work on a T-shirt.
Well, that's great.
Coca-Cola would have a heart attack if you were to do the Coca-Cola logo.
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
In different things, in different styles, and
it's got the feeling it's straight. It's straight from the street.
Yeah, Bruce Gould, of course, who's a fine artist, used to do these lovely.
He's mixed
posters.
Modigliani with the Australian, what's her name, Preston artist, and mixed them together. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Gould illustrated with this beautiful scraper board technique. Very strong.
Ooh, look at the
graphic.
cicadas.
There's the cicadas, symbol of Australia.
Yeah, that's really strong.
Yeah.
Very strong.
The Green Lady.
Yeah, with the
Magpies.
Yeah.
So there's an example of mixing
Yeah.
cultures and styles and eras. So you know, that's an example of perfect example.
And this is miscellaneous.
Yeah, these are different artists who have worked for Mambo. So graphic designers
And remember these?
cartoonists.
Critters.
Most of them are yeah.
Cereal critters.
Yeah, so it'll give you a depth of this is an American artist, I think.
Taking off her mermaid.
Yeah. So they attracted a lot of interest from all over the world, from
Get a lifestyle.
LA.
Mambo Deluxe.
Yeah.
Abattoirs of taste. The puns are great, aren't they? Mambo Goddess.
So this is sort of like a
One
take on
lifestyle
Hindi,
fits all.
incense posters.
Yeah.
And incense wrappers.
The Kama Sutras.
Yeah. So who would have done that? The Kama Sutras.
Well, this is all.
Here's some of their
This is all
shirts.
miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look at their shirts. These are takes on the.
Footballs, Holden cars, meat pies.
Yeah. So this is a take on the Hawaiian shirt. So it starts out. You can have Hawaiian hibiscuses and surfing and things, and then you
Mambo
get into
theology.
the three-eyed godheads and
Yeah.
icons.
The Australian
Australian
Jesus. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, they're works of art. I mean, these you can get.
Well,
these
corrugated
probably now
opera houses.
on eBay.
Corrugated opera houses.
Yeah, and they fetch a pretty dollar. Instant collectible.
Beautiful. Where are you now, William Morris? It's sort of Mexican, isn't it? Playing with the skeleton.
There's the green lady.
Yes, well, that'd be worth a bit.
It's on the back of the shirt.
Yeah, you open those shirts up and you get that.
So this is the epitome of t-shirt art. I would say everybody who loves t-shirt
A
art
bamboo shirt.
would own a Mambo.
Ooh,
Here
the
you go
history of t-shirts.
Yeah.
So we're going to get. Oh, there's the dog, the farting Mambo famous
Yeah.
dog. And
I launched a range of t-shirts in the 80s. I had Einstein as the father of the t-shirt, but he's gone with an older version.
that's Guy Fawkes, isn't
Guy
it?
Fawkes, yeah. So
And,
it's
and
anybody
these,
who is
it's a pity we can't.
culturally-
It's a pity we can't see this, but like there's the mold.
Hell no!
Yeah, there's a.
Sex, safe sex,
Yeah,
dumb fuck, and
yeah.
look at these are like hell instead of shell.
Yeah.
So these are send-ups of famous stickers and icons and.
I don't think this is
Look,
going to come up too well.
McDonald's M.
Yeah, which is two thongs,
yeah.
thongs put together. It's a great idea, just
Very
brilliant idea. And look, knits.
Yep. Knitted jumpers. They did that towards the end. That was fun. Of course, what you do
And these are the labels.
outside of t-shirts
These are all the labels.
and shirt weather, you sell jumpers.
Yeah, and this is hanging out off the inside of your shirts.
Yeah, swing tags,
Hairy dog
woven
trumpets,
labels, different logos.
logos. There's one drawn every minute.
Yeah.
Hey, Mambo Italiano. Look at that Mumbo travel. It's Apocalypse Now. Mumbo Time Lords. Swing tags.
Swing low, sweet chariot. Look at this.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
So every swing tag is different. There's no standardization.
Get a lifestyle.
Everything.
Get a lifestyle.
Everything is so
Mambo
beautifully-
faith, size and price.
Everything is so beautifully designed. It's,
Yeah. See the
a
TV
pleasure.
and you turn it over
This
and
is
it's
why-
size and price.
Yeah, this is why if you join in the culture, you buy one T-shirt, you're instantly sucked into this
Oh
culture.
yeah.
You've got to collect more because it's so much fun, and it's so rich with content and the attention to detail.
Well, this stuff's going to be very expensive as the years go on. Oh,
There's another
that's the
50s
John
icon.
Lennon Apple label, but she's made it into furry and she's got inside. It's almost like a little, a two-eyed monster with it.
It's
Oh, that famous pin-up girl.
Betty.
Yeah, look at this. That's great. Look at that.
What's her name? Betty.
I was never allowed to look at that stuff, so I can't help it. I know who it
Enough
is.
cream.
Yeah.
Betty, no.
Probably 9 out of 10 people watching this will know who it is. It just shows you how old we are, folks. The Art of Turning a Buck. And these are posters.
These are posters.
See, that's the famous one. The Father's Musical.
Yeah.
There's one drawn every minute.
So these are different. These are look at that, just different take on like a '60s small bowling bag, or what do they call them? The flight bags.
Yeah, flight bags, yeah.
Pan Am.
Yeah, and there's a phantom ring that's a house.
Yeah.
Good on you, Reg. Wherever you are, good on you, Reg. You did great work.
Beautiful work.
You're still going. 100%. Oh, the
So you did
Merimbula
posters
Way.
for,
Look, the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs vomiting on the beach.
Yeah. Let's
That's,
see that there was so.
that sums up the culture. And look. Here's a swastika as thongs.
Yeah.
How Australian can you get?
Yeah. And it's the parties. It's the people who work there.
Yeah.
The
These nice
band of
shirts.
Misfits.
The
It's a great
manifesto.
book. There is another book. There's another coffee table book of Mambo, but I think it doesn't do justice to the artist like this book does.
No.
This book is incredibly beautifully laid out, beautifully put together, instant collector's item, and it belongs in the
Hey Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of a hat.
in the archives of the Australian.
Yeah, well, this is quite a book. It's a phenomenon. It's got all these cartoons, advertising, all these tropes, so much in it.
Yeah. So if you love humor, if you love cartoons, if you love T-shirts, folks,
Yep.
Mambo, Still Life with Franchise.
Okay, this is Jim Mambo Bridges saying goodbye, and it's
France Cantor. And I'll see you later.
bye bye.
Bye bye.